All about windsurfing, things to know and how to practice it. What you need to know about a water sport that can be practiced from an early age at the sea or lake. Windsurfing is a sporting activity, not of ancient origin, that is based on the use of a board that moves over the waves of the sea thanks to the propulsive action determined by the force of the wind on the sail. It is a very fascinating sport that requires a good deal of familiarity with the sea and its force, excellent swimming qualities, and a dash of madness. As is well known, the windsurfing board has a sail mounted on a mast attached by a universal joint called a mast foot that is supported and controlled by the surfer. When to start practicing this sport, how to start and when. Let's learn about the practice of windsurfing. Windsurfing, what it is. Windsurfing is a sporting activity that falls under the specialty of sailing and consists of moving over the water on a board thanks to the propulsive action established by the wind on the sail and also by the propulsive action of the waves. The English term windsurfing is translated into Italian as sailboard, indicating exactly the components of this sport's equipment. It is not a sporting activity of ancient origins, but only became popular in the second half of the 1900 seconds. In the common imagination, it is the sport practiced on the long windy coasts of the ocean. But when does it become an official sport? Origins and history. It dates back to 1935 when the first prototype sailboard was registered by the name of one Tom Blake, a California aerospace engineer, who got the idea while observing the ocean in front of Los Angeles. But it was not until 1965 that a boom and fixed mast were added so that the sail could be controlled while standing, and thus today's surfboard was born. The patent was officially transcribed in the Register of Inventions in 1970. The first boards were made of wood, the sails with polystyrene fiber cloth already used in sailboats, and the ropes were those used for boats. All types of surfboards. There are two types of windsurfing boards. Non-planing displacement boards called longboards that are long and heavy and have a movable drift in the center of the board. They are suitable for beginners to approach the sport. Planing boards or fun boards, which are definitely shorter and lighter with larger sail surfaces, equipped with tow straps on the stern and selvages on the boom. It is a type of board used by professionals and experts. Windsurfing, the sport's disciplines. Windsurfing can be practiced in several disciplines. There are three major categories. Wave, the oldest discipline of the sport, which involves surfing waves while also taking advantage of wind power. Speed and slalom arises from competitions where speed comes first. The term slalom refers to the course that is faced during the competition, which consists of a series of buoys to be passed to the right and left, precisely accomplishing a slalom and reaching high speeds. For this particular discipline, special boards are needed, very narrow, which are launched on a very flat stretch of water. Speeds around 45 knots are reached in this discipline. The world record belongs to Frenchman Antoine Albo with a speed of 53.27 knots. Freestyle. This discipline is an expression of freedom, of free movement on a board. It consists of performing very complex maneuvers and spectacular evolutions such as jumps and spins. There are other disciplines such as formula practiced with particular boards that have a given width, thickness, and fin length. It is practiced on a race course very similar to that adopted by traditional sailboats, and in fact the same rules of international regattas established by ISAF and adopted by the Italian Sailing Federation are applied. Supercross is a competition where speed prevails. During the course it is required to complete some freestyle maneuvers. Who can do it? No special previous preparation or physical gifts are required. It is important to start at an FIV recognized school and to use equipment suitable for beginners. It is practicable both at the lake and in the sea from age 6 and there are no limits. The child must be able to swim and not be afraid of the water. This sport allows establishing a close relationship with nature, develops strength, balance, and motor coordination. If learned properly with qualified instructors, it is not dangerous. Contraindications and advice. To get started, it is recommended to rely on an instructor. It is not the case to approach this sport without a technical basis that only a windsurfing school can offer. At first, when you are a beginner, it is not recommended to go out in the sea alone, even if the day seems perfect from a climatic point of view. The ideal place to practice is a sheltered basin, a calm body of water exposed to a regular wind. Benefits of windsurfing. Why practice windsurfing? What are its benefits and what distinguishes it from other outdoor activities? A sport in contact with nature. Practicing outdoor sports is good for you. Windsurfing, in particular, takes enthusiasts to wonderful sea or lake locations, surrounded by nature, and far from the stresses of everyday life. It is an all-around safe sport, but one that requires a certain amount of care to avoid unpleasant injuries, focusing on technique. Experiencing the thrill of being in contact with the water and feeling the wind on you allow you to get distracted and enjoy a new, adrenaline-filled and fun experience. Benefits of windsurfing on the mind. Thanks to windsurfing, you don't just release stress while having fun. It is a great workout of intuitive skills and reflexes. You have to be ready to face the wind and waves, direct the sail to the right spot, and avoid falling into the water. The sport also teaches patience. You don't get on the board and practice without some experience. You have to listen to the advice of instructors, try and try again. In spite of these efforts, windsurfing is a sport that fascinates immediately and gives a feeling of freedom and well-being. Benefits of windsurfing on the body. To balance on the board and hold the sail, you need to have toned legs, strong arms, and also strong abdominal muscles. Windsurfing is therefore a sport that trains the whole body, since it is the surfer who has to manage the board and the sail, but also the direction and the elements around him. In addition, the constant falling into the water, swimming and getting back up on the board allows for additional exertion on the muscles of the whole body. Putting muscles in motion also means training respiratory endurance and, thus, improving heart performance, increasing circulation and providing benefits such as reducing cholesterol or the risk of arterial blockages. Being in the sun is good for you. Windsurfing is mostly practiced in the warmer seasons, when the sky is clear and the sun is shining. It is known that getting out in the summer is good for both skin and mood. Being in the sun allows the body to produce serotonin, an ally of good mood and energy. It also produces vitamin D, strengthens bones, tissues, and supports the immune system. One of the best things about windsurf is that you only need 3 things: your body, a surfboard, and a wave. Don't forget to subscribe and be sure to hit the notification bell for more exciting content. Thank you for watching.